Hi, welcome to OMAT. Let's get into these exercises that give us some control over our mind and body because something's not going your way, isn't it? Something's always not going my way. Something is always going a little bit differently or a lot differently than I expected, than I wanted. And at that point, it's very easy to play the blame game. I could easily say my parents didn't do the things that get me ready for this world. My partner's not paying attention. My friend is too needy. All of these things could be true, but what is the point of blaming someone else? We absolutely can't change them. We can tell them once, but any repetition means we're trying to train them to be something, and that's not going to work. Instead, we're going to train ourselves. What is my part here? This is not to blame ourselves. This is not to blame a victim of maybe somebody's taking advantage of me and I have to see what my part is. It sounds like I'm blaming myself. It sounds like I'm taking on someone else's responsibility. But really what I'm doing is how can I change this by changing my behavior? And what I could do here is maybe set a boundary, maybe say no a couple more times than I'm used to. That's very uncomfortable, but it is a practice because something is always not going to go our way. And if we want to be gentle and kind, we might end up using that just to manipulate, to keep the peace, to keep things smooth, to not change too much because that's uncomfortable. But that's not really gentle and kind. The way to do it, I think, is to first practice gentle and kindness on me. Once I genuinely know what that feels like, I can put that out into the world without that manipulation part. So let's practice being ourselves, finding what we need, making our thoughts useful, making our actions useful. Let's practice. Let's get present. We carved this time out for ourselves, so let's be here for it. That means your body's here. You can sort of hear me, but let's focus. This is our time. Let's get into our first exercise and go into finding some gratitude. Now, why are we finding gratitude? Easily we could say, hey, all these other people need to find gratitude. They have to fix their attitude. It's really frustrating when people feel entitled. Let's change that about ourselves. Once I don't feel entitled, once I can find my gratitude, I will gravitate towards that life more often because I am noticing where it is. So let's practice by looking for what there is to be grateful for right now. Let's wrap for now. Find the water, have a sip, and if you like your list, great. I love that for you. If you don't like your list, great. I love that for you. Let's practice moving on. Moving into our second exercise of meditation. It seems odd to meditate for 1 minute. What could that do? That's not how you change into a monk. That's not how you get into Zen. It is how you put a pause in your thoughts. It is how you gain control of what your next thought is. It is how you can interrupt your thoughts throughout the day to say, oh yeah, I know how to practice a pause. I know how to put space between my thoughts and my actions. I know how to decide what my next thought is. Let's practice sitting in any comfortable position, eyes opened or closed, breathe. As we come back, let's find the water, have a sip. Notice that's what it feels like to take a moment to ourselves. When we look around, the world kept spinning. We can keep going. Let's write it down. What is it? You can literally write the word it or any word that comes to mind. Write the word. It doesn't matter. The practice is that we're not waiting for inspiration to write. We're writing and seeing where it goes. Let's practice that by writing any word and continuing if you can. Let's wrap for now. Have a sip of that water again. Allow that to help you transition. Since you stopped writing and you're already drinking your water, you're already doing something else. Take that practice into our yoga. Stand if you can stand. You're already elongating something. We're going to walk through a sun salutation. Do any parts of it that you want. Move as slow as you can. And inhale your arms up. Look up. Reach up. If you want, you could bend one elbow, then reach up again, bend the other elbow, and then reach up with both arms, fold forward, hanging over the feet, nice rounded back, knees as bent as you want them to be. And when you're ready, halfway lift, flat back, straighten those knees, look up, and let's get into the high plank. Plant your palms down right where they are, step your feet back, and lower all the way to the ground. Once you're there, push against the ground, chest comes up, head comes up, look up. And let's meet in down dog. Bend the knees, pick the hips up, upside down V with your body. Make any small movements here that you'd like. Maybe trying to get the heels a little closer, feeling that to the ground, feeling that stretch, and then walk forward towards your hands. Start rising up, meeting the palms above the head, exhaling them down to the center of the chest. And take a moment, have some water. Maybe finish the last pose that your body came up with. That's fine. And we take that warmth into our plank exercise, our plank challenge. Let's not think of it as 60 seconds. Done is 5 seconds. Let's get into a plank pose for 5 seconds. When that 5 seconds comes, we can make those decisions then. We don't have to right now. Right now, we're making the decision to be willing to get into a plank pose in 3, 2, 1, up in plank pose. Just the first 5 seconds to feel what it feels like. And there's your 5 seconds. Are you still up? Well, you made it to 10 seconds. Make sure that you're breathing. If you found the strength to get up in the pose and to stay up, you've been there for 20 seconds, continue to generate that kind of energy that I can do it. As long as you're not hurting yourself, stay up for the 30 seconds remaining. Meet this challenge. Find a way to meet it. Maybe your self-talk could be a little more encouraging for 20 seconds. Try it out. Maybe you could grunt your way into it. Try it out. Maybe you can follow your breath almost as if you're meditating and planking at the same time for 10 more seconds. We are at the countdown. So if you're up, stay up for the 3, 2, 1. You're done. Come down off the plank. Take a moment, catch your breath. We are not in a rush. Rushing is how accidents happen. Let's have some water when we're ready. Maybe stretch your way back. Take a breath. Take some credit if you were only up for 5 seconds in that plank. Still have some credit. It is very uncomfortable to shift your body into that pose and hold it for even that long. Let's keep going. Let's break some procrastination. Now, one of the hardest things about breaking procrastination is believing that doing something small matters. So that's why we're going to practice it. We're going to practice something small. Let's see what happens when we look for that action right now. Let's wrap what we were doing, find the water, and we're going to find a way to move on, even if that minute, again, didn't go how we wanted. Something's not going to go how we wanted. We are going to practice moving on. Practice, not perfect. Let's get into our connection minute. Maybe you want to tell someone that you're having trouble with one of these exercises, or maybe you want to tell them that you are thriving in one of these exercises, or just a quick hello, I thought about you this morning. Let's try to connect, see what happens right now. Let's wrap for now. Have a sip of water. And it's not like you have to make the perfect connection to earn yourself a sip of water. You can always have water, and that might help you transition. Look at all these transitions we have to do from exercise to exercise. And when one of the exercises doesn't go your way, you didn't do it exactly how you envisioned it, here's the practice of moving to the next thing anyway. Let's finish off with moving our body. And this is any part of the body. If you can get your heart rate going, great. If you're feeling a little sluggish today, do it sluggishly. Let's do it though. 3, 2, 1. Participate in your body's movement. If we exercise, we get to keep using it possibly for a little bit longer, working it out. That's 10 seconds. And maybe you picked something that's so challenging, this is already getting a little difficult. Can you work through that? That's 20 seconds. If you need to go slower or faster, or if you like keeping this nice pace, do it the way you're doing it just for today, but do it for 30 more seconds. If you are not hurting yourself, don't stop. Continue doing it. Find a way to find the strength to keep going for 20 seconds. Let's finish this as strong as our body and mind will allow for today. What does that look like when you conjure up your strength for the final 10 seconds? We are at the countdown. Allow this to end well for 3, 2, 1, and you're done. Those are the exercises, sharpening our mind and our body so that we can have control over our next action. Thank you for practicing OMAT today.